Hey everyone, welcome back to How to Be a Poser. Today is all about menace. We're going to pose two figures together in a way that suggests a relationship that is equal parts Machiavellian and cruel. To do that, we're going to use the Hot Toys Grand Moff Tarkin and Darth Vader 6-scale figure set. Let's get started. Okay everyone, here they are. Grand Moff Tarkin and Darth Vader, still in their box exactly as they're going to come to you. I'm still trying to come to grips with everything that I'm seeing here. There's a vast array of accessories just for the interrogation droid. Darth Vader has his lightsaber that's light up using this arm over here. The tailoring looks amazing. So many opportunities to explore. I can't wait to get started, so let's get rolling. Governor Tarkin, Darth Vader. We're going to start with Governor Tarkin simply because he's the least complex of the two. I'm going to use him in his command chair, and I'm going to start by removing both of his hands and replacing them with these proprietary hands designed just for having him on the chair. This one will rest on the arm. Be very careful. I don't want to break those pegs. This one is more of a gesturing hand, as you'll see. The chair is a pretty simple assembly. You just slide this part into the bottom there. It's just straightforward. You don't need to mess with this screw thing. That's just there for looks. All right, I'm thinking that this thing needs to go a little bit further down in there. So yeah, press that down until it stops all the way down. An initial fitting of the chair. Set Tarkin down in it, and then just start messing with him just to get a rough posture. His arm back, make sure those wrist pegs are covered. This hand you're going to want to just be casually resting on the arm. This hand will just be up and gesturing. Now I'm not going to want him to be looking straight out from the chair. He's going to be looking to the side. Constantly trying to pull this sleeve down to cover up that wrist peg. Now for his legs, I think I'm going to have one of them kicked back and one of them kicked forward. The challenging part of dealing with a figure in a chair is that when you try to correct the angle of any of the limbs, then something else is going to be knocked askew. So when you think, all right, I need to move this arm back, well, if I do that, then it's going to push Tarkin around in the chair, so you need to just be very specific about which joint you manipulate. I'm just trying to get this hand just to rest lightly on the chair. And it's proven to be challenging because trying to get this to work without exposing that wrist peg is proving to be difficult. I'm thinking that I'm just going to have him leaning forward as if he's actually addressing somebody about something. I'm going to try moving his arm back and away. I think that actually provides just enough of a lean where it looks like he's leaning forward and getting ready to give a command. I think that this is a good call. I think that the more commanding posture is going to be a good call with what I have in mind, especially for Vader. I want him leaning in just a little bit, so I'm going to rotate his body, which is, again, going to jack up this arm here, and get that rested like he's getting ready to push off of the chair if needs be. The only thing that's missing here is maybe just a little bit more movement to the right of that right leg. He has these nifty little code cylinders that are going to go into this pocket up here. 2 in each pocket, I believe, if memory serves. Once you get those in, then the job is halfway done. Okay, next up, Lord Vader. First things first, this hand has to go. Off it comes. This is going to be a bit delicate, guys, so I'm trying to find the best points to grip this arm. You can see from this particular arm right here that there is going to be a joint right up there where this arm is connected. So you have to tug that loose, and it's slick plastic, so I just don't know how hard it's going to be. All right, that wasn't so hard at all. That was much easier than I thought it would be. Replace that arm with this arm, and you're flying blind. You're just going to have to feel your way through. You can feel that there's a slot up there. As you're sliding this in, make sure that you're pulling down on the sleeve. Just try to feel for that slot. There's a slot up there. Just try to feel for the groove, and then you can slide that joint in and then push. We have the arm in place, so let's pose this bad boy. First get these legs. I want to cock that hip just ever so slightly. I think that I'm going to try rotating him just a little bit this way, his torso just back a little bit, and then to compensate, bring his head around. And what that does is that gives the implication that this lightsaber, he's rearing it back like he's ready to strike. Now these things, the tabards, are wired. When you're doing a more action-oriented pose, These wires are going to come in very handy. You're going to be able to move them around and actually simulate movement of the figure. But since we're not doing that right now, all we really need to concern ourselves with is getting them to lie flat. Yeah, super easy. Now see how this is a little bit off center here? I think that might have something to do with the twist of the torso that I gave Vader. So you'll have to compensate. Try to keep the distance between this middle rectangle here and the two tabards equal, or as close to equal as you can. Vader's cape in episode 4 and his tabards combined to actually not show the pauldrons on his armor so much. So I think in this case, oh God, this is actually looking really, really very cool. In this case, we just need to pull the cape back just far enough to allow it to, and notice how I've got this arm slightly bent. Just pull that cape back far enough so that it falls along the gauntlet. That's really your only goal here, because you want that gauntlet exposed. You want to see that lightsaber. There, that's how it ought to be. That's very, very cool. Something similar over here, I think, because you want to see at least part of that arm. So I'm going to pull a little bit more of that cape back. Yeah, pop this baby in there. So easy. Slide Vader back here. Rotate it around. Tarkin's leaning back a little bit too much. There's just something about his posture that wasn't resonating with me. So I just want him leaning forward a little bit more. Get Vader off the stand. I just moved his right leg out from center a little bit more and angled the foot back a little bit more, just to give you the impression that he's leaning into it and getting ready to either stand up or to give a command, just to provide some direction. It had the unintended effect that I enjoy of actually creating more direction, leading back to Darth Vader standing right behind him in sort of a ready posture. I wanted Vader's posture to be more imposing, more like the threat of pending action than any action actually going on right there. He's ready to do Tarkin's bidding at a moment's notice. So yeah, I think we've got something good here. I think that this is worth sticking with. I think that'll look good on the shelf. Darth Vader and Grand Moff Tarkin's friendship began years before fans first saw them together in 1977. They recognized their common ideals early on in the Clone Wars, as we've seen both in the Clone Wars and in Rogue One. There's a familiarity and a respect that we see in them that was evident in Star Wars. Together, the two are a formidable team that'll look great on your shelf.